Morning, everyone.
Morning.
I wasn't sure if I could hear her, but everybody was so quiet.
We were chatting before you got on. We were just waiting for you to get yourself your video and your audio working. And
Well, I got a new internet provider, so it's going to be if it's going to find out if it's better or worse. So, anyways, it looks like it's 9 o'clock, so I will call the meeting of the Criminal Justice and County Affairs Committee to order. I'll start out. I am Frank Engler, and I am participating from my home in Deerfield Township, Isabella County, Michigan.
Steve Sweeney, attending remotely from my home, Mount Pleasant, Michigan, Isabella County.
I'm Jim Horton, now participating from Big Rapids, Michigan, Mecosta County.
I'm Tobin Hope, participating from my home in the city of Mount Pleasant, Isabella County.
Okay. Do we have any additions to the agenda before I move on?
no, we do not.
Okay. At this time, I'd like to call to the public. Nicole, is there anybody online?
There is not at this time, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, we will wait a few minutes and then we'll proceed. Okay, I will ask for one more call to the public. Is there anyone there, Nicole?
There is no one still, Mr. Chairman.
Man, people
Okay.
just don't know what they're missing.
I know. Well, I'm enjoying it. So far, everybody's moving now. So I'm really thinking that maybe I only waited over a year and a half to do this. So anyways, moving into the agenda, well, item number 4, consider approving the fiscal year 2022 county child care budget summary. The DHS 2091, Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, the MDHHS County Child Care Proposed Application for Children under the jurisdiction of the Isabella County Circuit Court, Family Division, and assure child safety, well-being permanently, and rehabilitation of our most vulnerable population. Authorized board to sign the same. We have Carrie Curtis here with us today. Yeah, this two things nice is that last year they changed it where the state actually pays 100%. So, and then we reimburse them. It used to be the opposite of that. It really helps for cash flow. Of course, the child care fund is the one that I always worry about because it's could be a big burden. You never know what the cost is or how you can predict how much money is going to be in there. But this is very important. 50% cost share. So, Carrie, do you want to explain a little bit?
Sure. Good morning. This year's application is almost identical to last year's. We've only made a couple of changes. The biggest change, I guess, is we're asking for slightly more money because we anticipate there could be some changes in the operating costs of our contracts with McBride for day treatment and non-secure. So we're working through that process, and we'll likely be bringing some information to the commissioners in the near future. We don't expect there are going to be significant changes, but we wanted to plan for them in this budget so we didn't have to come back and ask for more money for the child care fund. So there's that change. The only other change is that the $15,000 basic grant, which is the only 100% reimbursable program in the child care fund, we have just changed it a little bit to add some costs of drug testing because we are doing more of that outside of the courts still due to some COVID precautions and those kinds of things. But other than that, is identical to last year. We have been very happy with the amount of spending that has been occurring out of this program. So we're hoping we can continue to control those costs to the extent possible, but I think we all know that it only takes one family to really skew these, so.
Commissioner Swaney, do you have any questions?
No, this comment that, I know our biggest concern as Board of Commissioners is budget, but I always feel like our bigger concern is protecting, especially those citizens or children, I guess, that need our protection at times, and that's what we're here for as a government, a community, protect these at-risk individuals, which I think this program does. It helps them get back on track too. So that would be it for me. Thank you.
Chairman Engler.
Okay.
Or Chair-
Yes.
Carrie, real quick question for you. In regards to cost, I know with today with the COVID issues and costs of keeping and retaining employees and everything, my understanding that the cost across the board for like operation of day treatments, not just to McBride Homes, but just in general, their costs have gone up quite significantly. I know you briefly mentioned at the opening of your statement that some costs have been incurred that increases. I mean, I definitely agree that should be reimbursed and whatever you think is best in regards to that, because again, that's something that's not going to go away anytime soon. Their costs are going to be increased. The service that actually, trying to keep that, as Commissioner Swaney eloquently put, the level of care is needed. And in order to maintain that level of care, they have to have people do that. And those costs have significantly increased. I know not just in their type of business, but all businesses related. So I fully anticipate seeing a higher cost come our way. And I wouldn't be shocked to see and more. And I think you were kind in the way you put it. I would be shocked if it wasn't a significant increase over previous years. So.
Yeah, it's been very difficult for, I can only speak for non-secure and day treatment, but I think it's probably this way across the board. Very difficult to maintain employees at the level of pay that they were able to provide under the contracts that we have. So we certainly understand that. And, when you have these youth in placements like day treatment and non-secure, they need stability, and we can't provide stability for staffing through McBride's if we can't be competitive with what their employees are getting paid. So that's just one component of it as well, but we're hoping to be able to work out something, and I'm sure we will. We've had a great relationship with McBride over the years, and I fully anticipate that, we can all come to an agreement and present the board with something, that's reasonable for everyone.
Very good. Thank you. That was all, Chairman Engler.
Okay. Commissioner Hope, do you have anything?
You muted, Tobin.
Oh, sorry. Carrie, just one question. How long have we been contracting with McBride? Just out of curiosity.
So we've been contracting with McBride since both of these facilities opened. I know it was around 1998, I believe, is when, I don't know if it was both of them that opened, but it has been into the late 90s that this all started with McBride, yes.
Okay. That's all I had.
Okay.
I'll make a motion. All right, I'll move to bring this forward, the fiscal year 2022 county child care budget summary to the work session next Tuesday of the Board of Commissioners.
Okay, support by Engler. Is there any more discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. We will move that forward to the work session then.
Thank you.
Thank you, Carrie.
Thank you, Carrie.
Next
Thank you.
up is consider approving the amendment to the grant agreement between the Michigan Department of State Police, State 911 Office, and Isabella County Central Dispatch for the 2020 9/11 call premise equipment sub-grant, and authorize the board chair to sign the same. Well, we have Mark, or do we have Mark with us? This one is actually pretty easy, so I don't actually need Mark with us, but, oh, there you are, Mark. Yeah, it's not very often we can save a little bit of money, but if you want to explain it a little bit, go ahead.
So basically, the grant started out where we had to give a 10% match. It was reduced down to 5%. And they're doing an amendment now to further reduce it down to 3%. This should save us approximately $3,673.26. Would like to note that there's 2 typing corrections. The top of it says for the work session agenda, we would add August 3rd. Coming up for next week. And then the last sentence in the first paragraph, as we just alluded to, the grant's local match has been, add the word reduced from 10% to 5% and down to 3%. So I think you got that with the savings that were coming in from the grant part, but I read it quite a few times. I apologize. I just was reading the word in there and it wasn't there this morning. So.
Well, we could fix that before the work session, so.
Are there any
Yeah.
questions?
Yeah, it's pretty, it's strange that they keep reducing the cost share, but I'm all in favor. The state continues that trend, but I'm not going to hold my breath. So is there any questions to Director Griffith? Seeing none. Yes.
Nope. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I'll make the motion that we move this forward to the work session with corrections on the date and
I'll
the,
second. Second the motion.
okay, it's been moved and supported to move the item forward to the work session with corrections. Is there any more discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. On favor, signify by aye.
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 Opposed, the same. The motion passed. We will move that forward to work session.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
At this time, we're down to the agenda item of a call to the public. Nicole, is there anybody on the phone?
Chairman, there is not at this time.
Okay, kind of a, compared to last time, it's kind of a short agenda, so we had quite a list the last time we went through. We were pushing the limit, so
It goes like this, doesn't it? Yes.
it does.
Again, you guys are all making me look bad. I ran late on my last meeting that I ran, or second to last meeting, so.
Well,
Yeah.
we won't comment on that.
Yeah, I know. You guys, there you go. So, just as a real quick, while I should have mentioned that in the first, well, I'll say it right in front. Margaret and I and the sheriff had a meeting yesterday. Margaret, can I mention this? Is that okay? Or
Absolutely. Yes.
but just to update the commissioners here, I should have did that in the first meeting. I'll call the other 2 board members. Yesterday, we had a meeting with the members of the Discovery Museum, several members of the Discovery Museum, along with representatives from Maury Court and this, I believe, the Maury Foundation. Actually, Mr. Maury himself was there, so that was a good sight. I haven't seen him in a number of years. I don't really know him. I just remember him working out occasionally at Maury Courts back in the day when I actually was trying to get in shape. But anyway, I thought the meeting went very positive. Very informative, both sides. It was an informal discussion, and it was civil, and it was nice, and it was good to hear questions, because I think all the questions were good. Obviously, the people from the Discovery Museum there's no doubt about it, they're passionate about children. And it brought back memories of my school board days, seeing that. And obviously, we're all parents, and everything. So, it's just, I think it went well. We had a PowerPoint presentation. We had a poster board set up. The sheriff had his little doohickey that he could shine stuff and move stuff around and everything. So again, I think it went overall. I think there was some questions there. Obviously, they had concerns with A, traffic, and B, if somebody was let out of the jail, what would would they just be let out, show them the door and that's it? I think the sheriff alleviated most, if not all of those concerns. Again, I think it went very positive. And again, I really think it was a very good meeting, and we're going to do more of these. We don't know who, what, when, or where, but again, I feel very positive that it was a good presentation on both sides. So that's a quick update to you three.
I saw Sheriff Maine last night at the Bella County Fair. And they had obviously a patrol car out, and they had picture boards of the jail in tent there. A very good presentation there. And I had also talked to him about the presentation he had made at the Discovery Museum, which he felt went well. And I know Maury Foundation didn't see a problem with the location of jail and Sheriff's Office as well, he mentioned to me. So if Maury Foundation is okay with it, I know that all the other their fundraisers will follow their suit. And so I think probably the biggest concern for Discovery Museum was that their fundraising would falter. And since that's not going to happen, they should, most of their concerns will be alleviated. So.
Did you have a representative from the school there?
No, the school representative has worked and talked with the sheriff directly multiple times. They're very supportive. To give you an idea, when the school was letting out their students a few weeks ago, while there was I hate to use the term manhunt because it sounds so dramatic, but it was dramatic, a manhunt. They contacted the sheriff, my understanding, and said, we're going to arrange to have parents come pick up the kids. And Mike said, I'll be there. And he went and stood outside in the parking lot and didn't just direct traffic, but made sure everybody got where they wanted. And he's had a great relationship with that charter school for a very long time. If I may, Mr. Chairman, the meeting yesterday, as Chairman Horton said, went very well. And it was a great discussion. We have waited to have the meeting until we had the materials that we thought were the right thing to have for a professional presentation. And so we have these big, form boards that have, they're like 24 by 30 something. They're huge. Trust me, I carried them yesterday. And we have easels. And so actually, Chairman Swaney, yesterday after we left there, the sheriff texted me and said, because he has a set of these boards and I have a set of these boards, because we won't always be together. And we want to put these boards up in various places, obviously. So we only had, there's 6 boards, so we have 12 of those, but we only had 6 easels. We wanted to test the easels we ordered and see if we liked them. So I knew the sheriff was going to the fair yesterday, and I was worried about the 90-degree heat for everybody at the fair. But the sheriff texted me later and said, could I borrow those easels? So I met the undersheriff here when I came back from the meeting, and he took those easels out so that they can have them at. I think those renderings are so important to have out there. It's such a good idea to have them up. How many people will walk past that booth, right, at the fair? And I think it dispels a whole lot of fears. And yesterday at the meeting that we had, there was great conversation back and forth, and the sheriff's PowerPoint is great, and conceptualizes and answers questions, a lot of questions before they're asked. So that was really helpful. But it was very, very kind of Mr. Maury to come and take the time out of his day, as Chairman Horton said. And he very clearly stated, no doubt in his presentation, that he is 100% supportive of this project. And so that was wonderful to hear.
I know a while ago you sent an email out that had the jail picture on there, what it would look like. And I've actually had to bring that up twice to my township meetings. And once people saw that, so that was very helpful. We might want to resend that around again, but
Sure.
But I got it, but they've asked for it. So I brought it up on my phone and passed it around, and they were kind of surprised. So
Thank you for doing that, Commissioner. And we'll start I don't know if the easels will be here by Tuesday. I hope they are, but my plan is to start putting these renderings, up at the Board of Commissioners meetings. And even though we don't have a ton of public there, I think that you would all like to see them and any staff that's there. And so the more voices we can get out in the community. And one thing I said to Commissioner Horton after these renderings came last week, because the sheriff and I were in my office looking at them, and he and I were both raised on farms, and we both said, oh, and I drive by that site all the time. So I'm always like, oh, the soybeans there are looking pretty good. And the sheriff and I both talked about how much of that property will probably still be able to be farmed after this project is done, once the construction is done, because we're not going to be using all 40 acres of it, and we don't want it to grow up into ditch weeds and ugly things and whatever. And why not maybe think about renting out that property either on shares or on a per acre for someone to continue to farm it. And that would bring money, of course, into us, which is helpful, but I think it would also keep it looking good. It looks great now. Whoever, the farmers who are taking care of it now do a great job. So that'll be down the road. That'll be time for other discussion, but
Could grow some barley.
we could grow, yeah.
There you go.
Is barley as worth as much as soybeans on the market?
You're on it.
You know?
They're worth a lot to me.
Depends on the variety.
Does it?
It's a supply and demand deal.
Well, we have a very successful farmer on the Board of Commissioners, so he'll be able to advise as we move forward on that.
Well, you got half that right. I am a farmer.
I was going to ask you, Commissioner Horton, how that went. So thanks for bringing that up.
No, I forgot, and like I said, I forgot to do it this morning. I'll do it in our next meeting too, so Commissioner Jelazinski is aware, or I might even do it before if he pops on. Yeah, I thought, like I said, it's something we're gonna have to do, and all of us as commissioners, when we go to visit our constituents, should be well versed in it. And I know you mentioned in the past too, and then we can say this for another time, because I want Frank to say that he got out of it in a quick meeting today, but we approach different names and how to term things. And I know we've talked about it in the past, and I can't say where we talked about it because it was, but the term jail, we may have to think about naming and doing stuff like that, or like not naming it after a person, but like correctional facility or things like however we want to term that. I think we need to be cognizant of that. And I'm trying to train myself when I speak to people now. I always say we're building the sheriff's department before I put the second component added to it. So just to be cognizant of it, I think it's a better, and I use this term incorrectly because it's not optics, it's a verbal thing, but I think we just need to be aware of that. Margaret, I think it's a great idea when we have our board meetings to have those poster things there. I think that just, again, lets everyone know that the commissioners take this very, very seriously, what we're doing here. So,
well, I always, and not that this is an official name, because it hasn't been decided, but I always refer to the project as the Sheriff's Office and Correctional Facility. That's how I refer to it. I think it's important to always put the sheriff office and department first, and people are much more comfortable when they realize that it's not just the jail. It's there's going to be detectives there, and there's going to be deputies there, and there's going to be sergeants there, and there's help next door, law enforcement folks next door, and that's going to deter a lot of things. So I think it's really important, until we have an official name, to always do the sheriff's part first, because I think that really, clears up in the mind for people of what's actually going to happen there. So it's going to be the sheriff's department and the correctional facility. And then whatever official name we have, we don't want to call it the jail. That's the name of that kind of a place from 30 years ago.
just to piggyback on that, I mentioned earlier, when I was on the school board, I was part of the remodeling and additions to the high school. And if you ever had a chance to go, what is now, it's called the Performing Arts Center at the high school. At one time, that name was just the auditorium. So that was changed. So just to give you an idea of namings and things like that, Performing Arts Center obviously sounds much better than the auditorium. So again, that's my little 2 cents worth. And again, just little things like that means a lot for community support, community buy-in, because this is what this is. It's a community jail. So.
Just
Sorry,
one-
Chairman Engler, that was,
What?
sorry.
Well, I'm gonna make it just a little bit longer. I'm gonna switch topic real quick.
Okay,
I was talking to a couple township officials, and the positive feedback on the art workshop is amazing. So we can do more of that. I said it really, everybody really appreciated that, and it seems to be pretty much a win-win for everybody. So I'm glad the county did that, and it turned out real well. So
I complimented Margaret. She was on her A game when she came up with that suggestion, I thought. So that was a very good thing for us to do. And I agree with you, Commissioner Engler, that we need it. Again, we need to do more of that. And it involves all of us as commissioners being in touch with our townships and municipalities. I know Steve represents the city, or Commissioner Swaney represents the city. Just hearing those issues and being able to come to the forefront and talk about it and be not a great term, but be a liaison or a voice for them too, and working together. There's only, as we've witnessed here, I see a lot of positive upside with that. There could be some downside with it too, but I think the upside fully outweighs any downside or negativity of it. So I think we need to do more of it also.
It was a great group that was there. You know, there was, I don't want to misspeak, so I hope I'm correct. I'm trying to think around the table. There was Broomfield Township, there was Code Township, there was the village of Shepherd, there was the village of, oh, I'm going to get this wrong. There was, oh, Mr. Engler, now I've confused myself. I got.
Isabella,
Isabella, thank you. Isabella
Isabella.
Township at Deerfield, correct?
yes,
Yes.
that's correct. Yes.
Yes, and you know, it was an interesting combination of people because you had the village, people from the village and the people from the townships, but it was a good event. And you know, I think that we helped some with some fears and got information out to them. And Tim Wolf came from the village of Lake Isabella because he had already registered and he offered to come and give some tidbits, and he did. And so it was a nice event, and it was good to see those folks. You know, now that we're kind of doing some stuff in person again, it's nice to see people again. It was nice to have them there in the facility. They asked good questions and they were great participants. So it was fun to see and work with them.
Well, before the ship gets further off course, I am going to call for an adjournment. So I will adjourn this meeting and thank everybody for attending. So
Thank you.
Thank you.
thank
Right,
you.
take care.
See everyone later.